Okay, Zainab. Assalamu alaikum, ya Zainab.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so as I said earlier, we are revising, right? So let's continue with what we started last week. Last week, we talked about Al Islam and then we talked about Al Iman. So we said the verse of the Quran which talks about Al Iman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in Surah Al Hujurat, verse number 15, إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم lam yartabu. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
Okay.
says in this verse, He says, the believers are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger without having any doubt. And then we went on to this to give a definition of Iman, right?
Yes.
We defined Iman. Okay, so today my first question for you today is um, just a moment, please. So my first question for you today is, why did Allah send prophets and messengers, Zainab? Why did Allah send prophets and messengers?
To guide us to the right path.
Excellent. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent prophets and messengers to guide us to the right path. So why did Allah send prophets and messengers? Okay, so we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent prophets and messengers to guide us, okay, to guide mankind and the jinns, okay, to the right path, inshallah. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. Good. So the second question we would like to ask is, mention a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that mentions the most important matters of Islam. We know Islam is built on 5 pillars, right?
Yes.
There is a hadith which talks about this. So this question is actually asking you about the 5 pillars of Islam, but it needs you to give the hadith. So can you remember the hadith?
Start the starting.
Okay, so I'm going to help you with the starting. Buni al-Islam.
بني الإسلام على خمس شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله إقام الصلاة
وإقام الصلاة
وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وصوم رمضان وحج البيت لمن استطاع إليه سبيلا.
Barakallahu fiki. Jazakillahu khairan. So that is it. So this is the hadith. In this hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that Islam is built on 5 pillars, and he has mentioned the 5 pillars. The first of which is the Shahada, right? To bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. And then the second is for you to pray, and the third is az-zakah, and the fourth Ramadan, that is fasting in the month of Ramadan. Very soon we will enter into the month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who will fast in this month of Ramadan, inshallah. Okay. Then finally, to go to Hajj. yani that is to go to Mecca and perform the
Hajj.
pilgrimage. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who would be able to perform it once in our lifetime, because the first time you perform it is compulsory, but the other times you perform it is no more compulsory. So at least performing it once in your lifetime is what is required. And remember, it is not compulsory on somebody who is not able, who doesn't have the means to be able to what, to go to Hajj. Good. So let's
Okay.
continue. We are going to ask another question. So, but before we do, we said the question we asked and we just answered was, we said mention a hadith of the Prophet that uh, mentions the most important matters of Islam, right? So mention a hadith that mentions the most important.
Because you are joining the that in the mentions.
Okay, let's separate them. Let's give some space. Is it okay now? The
Yes.
most important. So mention a hadith that mentions the most important matters in Islam.
Ram.
Okay, good. So we've mentioned the five pillars of Islam, right?
Yes.
Good, good. So now let's move on. Let's move on to take another question. Are you ready for the next question we want to ask?
Yes.
Good. So the next question we want to ask ourselves is, what do we call the Muslim who commits enormous sins? What do we call the Muslim who commits enormous sins? You have a Muslim who is committing a lot of sins. Huh? He's doing a lot of things that are wrong Islamically. But then he also believes that Islam is the true religion, Islam is our religion, and he doesn't deny anything that will take him out. He hasn't committed anything that takes him out of Islam, except that he commits a lot of sins. What do we call this type of Muslim?
Sinful Muslim.
So this Muslim could be called a sinful Muslim, right? Okay,
Yes.
so this person is a sinful Muslim or a sinful believer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he commits enormous sins but believes correctly in Allah and His Messenger. Okay, so
Okay.
let's write it down. What do we call the Muslim who commits enormous sins? What do we call the Muslim who commits
No,
enormous
Muslims.
sins? So we call him a what?
Sinful Muslim.
A sinful Muslim. Okay, that's very good. Now let's move on. Let's move on to see what other things we can take. Um, we can look at, inshallah. So okay, so up to this point, these are some few questions we want to uh, uh, put out there for you to use when you are revising, okay? And then you need to
Okay.
revise the whole of the chapter. So the chapter on Al-Iman and the chapter on Al-Islam, you try to revise all of it, inshallah. Okay?
Okay.
But then,
Okay.
before we go, we would like to look at one important thing. We know that in Islam, after the Shahada, what is the most important thing after the Shahada?
The Salat.
The Salah. Excellent. Very good. So Zainab, I'm going to clean the board and then we talk about ablution. We know that for you to perform Salah, you first have to perform what? Ablution, right?
Ablution. Yes.
Good. So we are going to talk about ablution. We're going to talk about ablution. Are we good?
Yes.
So let's put it down here. Let's put it down here. Ablution. Ablution. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So, so what can you tell me about ablution, Zainab? What can you say about ablution? How is it
We cannot
important? Go ahead.
we, we can't pray if we don't perform ablution.
Okay. What then happens to our prayers if we pray without ablution?
Mm, it is not your prayers will not be correct.
Our prayers will not be correct.
Yes.
So it means our prayers will not be accepted, right?
Yes.
Okay. So our prayers will not actually be valid if we do not perform ablution. Do you know of any verse of the Quran that talks about ablution?
No.
Okay, don't worry, we shall talk about them all, inshallah. Okay, so then what else can you tell me about ablution?
Mm,
Is there anything
it
you think?
cleanses the body.
Okay, so it cleanses the body, it serves as a form of purification for the body, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Okay, what else can you say about ablution?
Mm,
Okay,
that's all.
Zainab, please, a moment.
Okay.
Okay, Zainab,
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's continue.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, so if you get your book or if you happen to go back home and you have your book with you, you open to page 81. On page 81, it talks about wudu al wudu, that is ablution. Okay,
Okay.
so some I'm going to read out the verse of the Quran which talks about ablution. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa
Okay.
ta'ala says in the Quran, He says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. Okay, so
Okay.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 6, Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you who are believers, and oh, you who believe, or oh, you the believers. إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. When you are ready to pray, فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. You must wash your faces. وَأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. And hands and forearms, including the elbows. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues and He says, وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. And then wipe your heads. وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. And wash your feet up to and including the ankles. Okay, so this is what Allah
Okay.
subhanahu wa ta'ala first says. So the first thing we want to note down is one. So let's rather use verse of Quran. So the verse of Quran which talks about ablution, right?
Yes.
Which talks about
About ablution.
ablution. Okay. Ablution, right?
Yes.
Good. So we said the verse can be found in which surah? In which
Surah
surah?
Al-Ma'idah.
Exactly. Verse number what? Verse number 6, okay? Don't forget.
Okay.
Okay. Good. 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 Now after that, there are some integral parts or rukuns of ablution. Okay? There are some what?
Okay.
Integral. So
Grandparents of Abu.
the integrals in bracket rukun rukuns, okay, the integrals or rukuns of ablution. Are we there? Are we there, Zainab? So when we say the rukun, we know arkan. Arkan means pillars, right? Zainab. Assalamu alaikum ya Zainab. Assalamu alaikum. Zainab, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so let's continue. So we said there are rukuns. And when we say rukun, it means pillar. That is why we say arkan al-Islam, the pillars of Islam. One of it, the singular is rukun, and the plural is arkan. Okay, so when we
Okay.
say the rukuns of ablution, those are the pillars of ablution. Those things which, when they are absent, your ablution will be affected. Something will go wrong if those things are absent in your ablution. Those are considered the
Okay.
integrals of ablution. So we
Okay.
say the integrals of ablution are six. They are how many?
6.
Good. They are six. The first is having the intention in the heart when washing. Having the intention in the heart. Okay.
Okay.
So that is aniya. That is aniya.
Ania.
Okay.
Ania. Ania.
Good. Then the second is what? Washing the face. Washing the face from the normal hairline to the chin and from one ear to the other. So that's the second integral part of ablution. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Then the third one is washing the hands and the forearms up to and including the elbows.
I'm giving you breathing.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Let's go. So that is washing the hands and the forearms up to and including the elbows. That's the third part. Okay. Then the fourth one is wiping the head or part of it. Okay. The
Okay.
fifth one, washing the feet with the ankles included. So that's the fifth one. And the
Okay.
last one is wudu following the order mentioned above. So when you're performing the ablution, arranging them in the order that we have mentioned is also very important. Okay.
Okay.
So you realize that these things that we have mentioned about ablution can all be found in the verse we have recited earlier on, which is found in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Okay. It can be seen
Okay.
in the verse of the Quran which Allah has revealed. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة. So إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة, here we get the niyyah. We get the what's the intention. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم. So we get washing of the face, the second one. وأيديكم إلى المرافق, that will be the third one, washing your hands up to the elbows. وامسحوا برؤوسكم, then rubbing of our hair. Okay. وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين, and then what? The washing of our feet up to the ankles. That is the fifth one. Then the order in which these things were mentioned in the verse should be followed. So that forms the sixth point or the sixth integral part of ablution. Zainab, I hope you are getting this point. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So we have mentioned 6 integral parts of ablution, right?
Yes.
Good. Can you mention them for me? The first one is?
The hand.
No, the intention. An-niyya.
The intention.
The second one is?
Then the head.
No, washing of the face. Okay? Washing of the face. The third one is washing.
All again.
Okay, I'm going to repeat them again. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
In fact, I'm going to write them down for you. So the first one is intention. Okay?
Okay.
The second is washing the face. Okay? The third is washing the hands up to the elbow. Are we clear?
Yes.
And the fourth one is rubbing the head. Okay. The fifth is washing the legs. Okay. So we are going to have, are you with me? Washing the legs.
Yes.
Up to the ankles. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Azina.
Okay.
So that is it. Okay. Those are the 6 integral parts of ablution.
Sorry, go on, watching.
Okay.
Okay.
I am about to clean the board, but before I do, let's quickly revise the things we've taken under ablution so far. We said ablution is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to do in the Quran. So we gave the verse of the Quran from which surah?
Ma'idah.
Verse number 6. Verse number 6. And then we said that in this verse of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the integral parts of ablution. The most important parts that need to be washed when you are performing ablution, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned them. So we quoted the verse, and out of the verse we brought out the 6 rukuns or the arkan of what? Ablution. So arkan al-wudu, or the integrals of ablution. The first being intention. The second is what?
The second is washing of the hand. Washing of the face.
Then the third?
Hand. Washing of the hand up to the elbow.
Then the fourth?
Rubbing the head.
Then?
Washing the legs up to the ankle.
Good. So we are left with the last one. What is the last one? We said there are 6, right?
Yes.
So the last one is performing these acts. Okay, so performing them in order. Okay, performing them in what?
Order.
In order. Performing them in order. That is the 5th one. Are we good?
Yes.
Are we good? Good, very
Yes.
good, Zainab. So those are some of the things we would want to talk about today in our Islamic studies lessons. Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. So